Hello, welcome to the Writers Reading Show. I'd like to dedicate this show to a dear friend of mine who recently passed away, Mrs. Alice Kinder. I didn't know Mrs. Kinder very well and I only met her in the last few years, but she was a wonderful, wonderful lady and I will never forget her. She was very talented and very encouraging to me in my work, and so this show will be dedicated in her memory. Today I have on my show my two daughters. Here beside me is Rachel. Rachel, say hi.
Hello.
And over here is Becky.
Hello.
And we thought that we would read some stories today for children. Becky and Rachel have each written a story, and I have a story that I'd like to read. And so we'll read those three stories today. Do you girls want me to start? Okay, I thought so. This story is the first chapter in a book that I've written called The Soup Bean War. It'll kind of give you an idea about what the book is about. "Run, Em, run!" screamed Laura as she and her little sister hurried barefoot down the dirt driveway. "I'm running as fast as I can," panted Emily. They were heading from their small yellow house to the white one-room school building that sat next to the road. Laura's long, thick blonde hair flew behind her in the muggy evening air, as Emily's thin brown hair clung to her sweaty little head. The girls made a sharp contrast to the stillness of the valley and the majestic Appalachian Mountains, covered in pines, oaks, cedars, and silver maples, which surrounded and protected them as their girlish squeals broke the silence of the valley. Behind the girls came their older sisters, Mary and Martha. Although they were twins, Mary and Martha looked very little alike. Martha was a blonde, while Mary's hair was brown like Emily's. Like their younger sisters, they both had large blue eyes that mesmerized anyone who looked at them. And they were light complected. Both had freshly permed hair, and both were fairly tall, at 5 feet and 7 inches. But all resemblance ceased there. Martha was built like an hourglass and had large features, while Mary was thin and underdeveloped and had small facial features. "You get back here with that," screamed Martha. "I'll kill you when I catch you, Laracon." Mary just ran along with Martha without speaking, but with their tight blue jeans on, neither of them could keep up with their little sisters. Besides, they too were barefoot, because they had been inside the house before they darted out after Laura and Emily. And unlike their young sisters, they had not got their feet accustomed to walking, and especially running, without shoes. Get under the floor," commanded Laura to Emily. They both ducked and scooted under the floor of the old school building, which sat on blocks. "It's dirty under here," complained Emily, wiping dirt and tiny gravels from her knees. She looked around, and dark. "We're safe," said Laura as she settled herself on the cool ground. "Mary and Martha can't get under here. They're too big." "Get out from under there! Give them back!" screamed Martha as she got down on her knees and peered under the floor of the building. "Them's mine and Mary's. You give 'em back!" "No, go away!" yelled Laura. "Give 'em back right this minute!" Martha yelled back at her. No, I ain't giving 'em back. Get out of here!" screamed Laura, kicking dirt and rocks toward Martha's face. Martha stood up. "I'm going to kill that little snot-nose when I get my hands on her." "Aw, come on, Martha. We ain't doing no good here," Mary said as she wiped sweat from her forehead. "I'm going to go tell Mommy," said Martha, and she and Mary started back toward their house. "What do they say?" asked Emily. "One says it's to Mary Conn, and one says it's to Martha Conn." Open 'em, urged Emily. "I'm trying," said Laura. Her little fingers clumsily tried to open the flap on one of the envelopes she held in her hands. "Here, hold this one," said Laura, reaching Emily the other envelope. "I can't take it. I got a booger," Emily said. "Throw it down." "But it's Jack." "Jack? You name your boogers?" "He's my friend," said Emily. "Take the letter in the other hand then." "But I got Jill in that hand." "Emily!" Emily pulled her hands up close to her face. "Bye, Jack. Bye, Jill," she whispered. Then she wiped her hands on her calico dress and took the envelope. "What's that one say?" she asked. "It says, 'My dear sweet Martha.'" The girls broke up laughing. "My dear sweet Martha," mocked Emily. "Go on." "I love you with all my heart." Once again they broke into laughter and continued to laugh as Laura read Martha's letter and also the letter written to Mary. "Look," said Laura, showing Emily the letters. "Look at all these X's and O's on the bottom." "What's that mean?" asked Emily. "It means hugs and kisses," explained Laura. "Look, XO, 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 XO. That's a lot of hugs and kisses," laughed Emily. "Oh, and look at this," Laura said. "They put lipstick lips all over the letters. Their boyfriends wear lipstick?" "No, silly. Mary and Martha did it. They're in love." They laughed again. "Who are they in love with?" asked Emily, wide-eyed. "Let's see. Martha's is from a Luther, and Mary's is from a Jim." "Luther and Jim. I don't know no Luther and Jim, do you?" "I think it's boys they met at a funeral they went to with Daddy." "Oh, I wish I could read," said Emily wistfully. "You'll learn to read when you go to school this year." "That's too long. I want to know how now." "Why? I read everything to you." "But I want to know how to read for myself, and I want to know how to write. I got so many pretty words in my head, they make my head hurt sometimes." Laura laughed. "You'll be reading before you know it. Then you'll wish you couldn't, 'cause Miss Tackett will be giving you bunches and bunches of books to read, and you'll be sorry you ever learned to read, and you'll be sorry you ever learned to write, too." I'd never be sorry I learned to write." "You know your ABCs, don't you?" "Course I do. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, sang Emily. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Tell me what you think of my ABCs." No, that ain't right, Em. It's tell me what you think of me. I like it better my way. But it ain't right. I don't care if it ain't right, said Emily as she crawled out from under the floor. Laura followed her. "Do you think Mary and Martha are over their mad spell by now?" Emily asked Laura. "I don't know. It ain't been very long. Let's go down and play in the creek." The little girls ran across the dirt road and down the mossy bank to the small creek dotted with large, smooth stones and tiny minnows that darted here and there. "Ooh, the water's cold," Emily said as she put her foot down into the clear, sparkling water. She put in the other foot. The water came about halfway up to her knees. Laura jumped in with both feet, splashing water all over Emily. "You got me wet," complained Emily. "That was the idea," laughed Laura. Emily bent down and splashed water on Laura with her hands, and Laura returned the favor. Soon both girls were soaking wet. They played in the water for about 10 minutes and then started home. "Where's Mary and Martha's letters?" asked Emily as they walked up the driveway. Laura's big blue eyes grew even bigger. "I don't know." "What did you do with them? Where did you put them?" "I don't know." "We better go back and find them or they'll kill us for sure." The girls ran back and searched around the school building but couldn't find the letters. Then they followed their path back across the dirt road to the creek, searching along the mossy bank for the letters. "They ain't here," said Laura sadly. "I lost 'em. Martha's going to kill me. She's just going to wring my neck like I was a Sunday dinner chicken." "Look over yonder," said Emily. Across the creek, washed up on the other bank, were 2 muddy envelopes. Laura waded across the creek and picked them up. Water dripped from them as she held them up for Emily to see. Emily shook her head. "We're dead," she prophesied. "Dead as a doorknob." Laura waded back across the creek. She pulled one of the letters out of its envelope. "Look," she said, "the ink and lipstick are all faded together. You can't read a word." "I couldn't read a word before," said Emily. Laura frowned. "We're dead," she repeated Emily's words. "Come on, let's go on home." And I guess if you want to know more about this story, you'll have to buy the book if I ever get it published. Well, what did you girls think about the story?
It's funny.
Funny. Okay, did you write a funny story, Becky?
Not really. It was a true one, but not funny.
No, it's a true one. Well, do you want to read yours now?
Sure.
Let's let Becky read hers.
One hot, sunny afternoon on Alamo Street in West Columbia, Texas, Judith, age 3, and Andrew, age 8, and Joseph, age 6, were all playing in a sandbox. Judith started getting thirsty and hot, So she went inside and told her mother to get her some water. Judith went back outside to wait for her mother to get her some water. Meanwhile, Elizabeth, who was 1-year-old, woke up from her nap screaming and hollering. The mother had to go into the nursery to get her. As the mother went to get the baby, Judith came back into the house, where she saw a blue cup sitting on the counter. The liquid inside the cup looked blue, but Judith thought the color was just a reflection from the blue cup. So she took a drink. The liquid tasted strange, so Judith spit it out. The father was busy in the kitchen, so he paid no attention to Judith while she was drinking the liquid, but once he saw her spitting it out, he realized that she had drunk the liquid in the cup, which was the windshield washer fluid. The father screamed for his wife, who came hurrying through the hallway with Elizabeth. The boys who were still playing outside heard all the commotion inside and came inside to see what was going on. "What happened?" screamed Andrew. They all started to question Judith about what happened. Then the father said, "She drank the windshield washer fluid I set out." The family took Judith to the hospital. The doctor said, "Your daughter could possibly go blind in 3 days, and she could die if she drank enough of it, because windshield washer fluid is very, very poisonous." The doctor and nurse made everyone leave the room, and they pumped Judith's stomach. A nurse came through the door with the charcoal and said, "Drink this." Judith refused to drink the charcoal, so the nurse said, "Then I'll do a magic trick." She got some tubes and she poured the charcoal through the tubes into Judith's nose. That way, she would be able to get the charcoal into her body so it could soak up the poison. The doctor said Judith should stay overnight so they could keep an eye on her. So the father took the other 3 children home, and the mother stayed with Judith all night. She prayed that Judith would be all right and not go blind or die. During the following few days, charcoal came out of Judith when she went to the bathroom. After 3 days, Judith was still alive and she was not blind. A week later, the doctor called and said the results of the test on the contents of Judith's stomach had come back. There was no poison in her stomach. She spit out all of the windshield washer fluid. The father said to the family, "She's okay. The doctor said that there was nothing in her body. She spit it all out." The family all went out to Billy Bob's for ice cream. Joseph said, "Buddy, I tell you, if this happens again, we're going to get a lot of ice cream." And the whole family laughed. The end.
That's a true story. I can vouch for that. Well, mostly true anyway. And Becky is the Judith in the story. Do you remember this very well?
Not very, but I remember asking for a drink of water and when they were pumping my stomach. And that's all I remember.
Is this the first story you've written, Becky?
Well, before I wrote a story called Easter in Sunshine Town, but I don't think it was as good as this one.
Oh, this one is very good. I like this one. Do you write a lot?
Not very much. I don't like writing stories very much.
What do you like to write?
Just mostly made up stories, fiction stories, and just read books, and then if I come up with an idea, just make it up and write it.
Do you write poetry?
A little, not very much. I only have written one poem.
What grade are you in, Becky?
5th.
5th grade. I ask these questions even though I know the answers, so other people will know. Okay, now here beside me is my daughter Rachel, who has also written a story. And Rachel is 8 years old and in 2nd grade. And we'll let her read her story now. Is your story true, Rachel? No? Okay. Do a good job, read loud.
One day, some kids' parents had to go to the hospital because the mom was having a baby. She had a girl, and they named her Beth. Beth was very little, and her hair color was brown, and her eyes were hazel. Beth had 2 brothers and a sister. The older brother was 7, and the other one was 5. The sister was 2. The older brother was named John. The younger brother was named Michael. The sister's name was Amanda. 3 days after the baby was born, the mom and dad came home with Beth. Amanda said, "Oh, she's so cute." John and Michael said, "Another baby to look after." The mother said to John and Michael, "You guys be quiet. She's a cute little baby." The baby grew bigger and bigger and bigger until one day she was 3. Amanda loved to play with her, and the brothers loved to steal food from her. One day Beth was coughing and she threw up. The mother and dad took her to the doctor. He checked her all over, and the doctor said that she had a strange virus. The doctor gave her some medicine, but a day later she was worse. The mother and father took her to the hospital. The doctor there said that she would be getting sicker no matter how much medicine he gave her, so he sent her home. The mother and father thought she was going to die. So did her brothers and sister. Amanda said, "If she dies, I won't have anyone to play with anymore." But the brothers were crying. The father said, "We better pray, so she might be able to live." They prayed. The next day, the mother and father were going to the store. At the store, they saw some medicine. They thought it would help their daughter. They took it home and gave it to Beth. A day later, they saw that Beth was getting better. She wasn't coughing or throwing up like she used to. They took her to the doctor again, and the doctor said, "I can't believe it. Your daughter is going to live." The mother and father started to cry. Then they went home. They said to John, Michael, and Amanda, "Beth is going to live." Amanda said, "Yay, I'm going to have someone to play with again." John and Michael said, "We're going to stop stealing her food." Beth said, "I'm all better." Then they all celebrated because Beth was all better. They went to pizza and ate all kinds of pizza, and they all lived happily ever after at the end.
Very good, Rachel. They went to Pizza Hut. Why did you say Pizza Hut? You go there often? You like pizza? Is this your first story, Rachel? You don't remember? How about in first grade when you wrote one for the Young Authors Program? What was that about?
It's about me and my mom.
It's about you and your mom. Well, do you think this one is better than that one? You don't know? This one is probably longer. You know what? The more you write, the better you'll get. The more you practice. Right? Do you think you've been getting better since you've been writing more, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you write in your journal?
Mm-hmm.
Every day?
Mm-hmm.
No? Well, I don't think any of us write every day, but we try to write as much as we can when we have things to do that we've done. But one thing I'd like to tell you all is that you should keep details. When you write in your journal, if there's a certain song that you like at the time, you should write in your journal that you listen to that song. Because you know what? In this story, in this book that I'm writing, The Soup Bean War, I have trouble when I want to have the little girl Emily maybe listening to the radio or singing a song. See, I don't know what song might have been out at that time. So I have trouble with that. Now, if I had kept a journal when I was little, then I would know at that time what songs were popular. But you know what I had to do?
Yeah.
I had to go to Walmart and look at those cards. You know the cards they have that say the years 1955 or whatever. And you look in it and it shows you the movies that were popular and the songs that were popular. That's one thing I did. And then I went to and looked at some videos, I think it was, that had some songs on it and told when they were written. And that's how I did it. But if you wrote a journal and you wrote details like that in it, when you get older, if you decide you want to write maybe a book, you'll have all this information. And you won't have to do a lot of research like I'm having to do. Right? Well, I've really appreciated you girls being on the show. I know you've wanted to do it for a long time, and we just never did get around to do it. And now I thought today, since I was wanting to read part of my book, I haven't read anything much on the show lately, I thought it'd be a good time to have you come on and read your stories, and I've really enjoyed it. Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So, are you girls going to be writers when you grow up?
Well, I want to be a teacher.
A teacher. Do you want to teach writing?
No, I want to teach math.
Math? Math?
Math. So,
Whoa. I hope you got your math skills from your father and not me.
I think I did.
And what about you? What do you want to do?
I guess
You don't know?
probably a teacher.
Teacher? What do you want to teach? You have no idea? Well, what grade do you want to teach? Little kids? Big kids? You guess little kids.
Yeah.
What about you?
First to third grade.
First to third. And why is that?
Just because I just like that grade.
Hmm.
It's great.
I see. Well, thank you girls for being on the show. And again, I'll say this is Becky and this is Rachel. And these are my daughters. And I'd like to say once again before we go off the air how much that I am going to miss Alice Kinder. And I know that so many more people will. She was just a very, very special lady. And one of the reasons that made Mrs. Kinder special was that she tried to make everybody else feel special. I just couldn't say enough about how wonderful she was. Until next time, may God bless you.